Welcome to Rethinking Death.life, the podcast where we flip the script on the spoiler alert. Everyone dies.
Hosted by the witty widowed death doula duo,
Kathy Dempsey
and Kim Harms.
We know our way around both life and afterlife prep. We tackle the big questions with humor and heart and a healthy dose of reality talk.
Whether you're planning your epic exit, pondering what's next, or just want to know if death really has a sense of humor, we've got you covered. Because rethinking death might just be the secret to truly living.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Rethinking Death.life. I'm Kathy Dempsey, death doula, author, speaker, and your friendly guide to the great beyond.
And I'm Kim Harms, Kathy's partner in crime. Well, life's finding a little chapter kind of crime. Together, we're here to help you rethink everything you thought you knew about death and life.
That's right. If you're here to avoid awkward topics like mortality or estate planning, you wandered into the wrong podcast. But if you're ready to embrace the inevitable with a little bit of humor and a lot of heart, you found your tribe. You found your people.
Let's face it, death gets a bad rap. Grim Reaper, anyone? But what if it doesn't have to be so, well, grim? What if we could look at death and everything leading up to it as an opportunity for meaning, connection, and dare I say, a little laughter?
Exactly, Kim. So here's what we're going to do today. First, we'll share why we started the podcast. Then we'll dive into a question that most people don't like to think about, but everyone should. And if you had 2 minutes to live, what would you wish you had done differently, Kim?
Oh, we're starting off light, aren't we? I see. Nothing like a good existential crisis to kick things off.
Right. Well, it wouldn't be Rethinking Death.life if we didn't get a little deep. But we'll keep it fun, too. I promise.
All right, Kathy. Let's start with a big why. Why this podcast? Why now? And why us?
Good questions, Kim. Honestly, I spent years talking to people about death. I started my career as an ER trauma nurse. And then I went to graduate school and did my thesis on death and dying and grief and loss, and ended up building a course for nurses and doctors and ministers and helping professionals, and spent years helping them deal with their own death to better help other people deal with death. And my research actually found that helping professionals are more frightened and afraid of death than the normal population, even though we deal with it on a regular basis. So I think I've seen two things over and over. And that first thing is most of us are terrified, petrified about it. And second of all, those who think about it and prepare for it live better lives. They have better relationships, more clarity, and a lot less stress.
And let's not forget, fewer family fights over who gets grandma's teapot.
Right. My hope for this podcast is that we can help people face the hard stuff with courage, curiosity, and a little bit more joy and laughter.
And let's be honest, a little laughter doesn't hurt either.
Exactly. Now, Kim, let's hit the big question. If you had 2 minutes to live, what would you wish you had done differently?
You're really going there, Kathy, aren't you? Okay, let me think. Well, I probably wish I'd spent more time saying what really matters to the people I love, actually telling them how much they mean to me.
I love that. It's so simple, so important. For me, I think I wish I'd spend less time worrying about things, obsessing about things that didn't really matter. Like, does anybody really care if my kitchen floor was clean? Probably not.
Definitely not. Although I do appreciate a good Swiffer.
Fair. But seriously, when we think about what really matters, it always comes down to the same things: love and connection and meaning. That's why we're doing this podcast, to help people focus on what really matters before it's too late.
And we'll be tackling all kinds of topics to get there, from writing legacy letters to choosing your funeral playlist to deciding if you want your ashes turned into a diamond.
Oh, whoa, whoa, okay, Kim. I'm totally considering that diamond thing. I didn't even know that was possible.
Of course you are, because talking about death doesn't have to be depressing. It can be life affirming. And on that note, let's leave our listeners with a little homework. Take a few minutes today to think about that question. If you had 2 minutes left to live, what would you wish you had done differently? And more importantly, what can you do about it right now?
What can you do about it now? Wow. Then let's come back next week because we're going to interview one of our favorite people, the doyen of death herself, Gail Rubin. I adore her. I love her statement. Talking about sex doesn't make you pregnant, and talking about death doesn't make you dead.
True.
So don't worry, we won't be making fun of death. It's a serious topic, and parts of it, especially the grief parts, aren't funny. I mean, we Kim and I both have spent considerable time in that grief pit that we all know. So we'll have some serious discussions about pain and loss as well.
And because life is short, our podcast will be short.
Very short.
Each episode will be focused on a specific topic, so you can listen to them in sequence, or you can pick and choose according to the information you need.
Thank you for joining us for this first episode of Rethinking Death Life. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, share, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your answers to that 2-minute question.
And until next time, remember, rethinking death is the first step to really living. See you soon.